All right, guys, first of all, welcome to the new studio. Obviously, it needs a little bit of work, still working on it, but wanted to make sure we could get this video out to you because in this video, we're going to be taking a look at a snapshot of traffic throughout the Portland metro area. If you're thinking about moving to Portland, if a commute is a concern, you're not going to want to miss this. Stay tuned to learn more. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Paul Clem with the Home Team Brokers coming to you from Portland, Oregon. In this video, we're going to take a look at traffic throughout the Portland metro area. So Portland has notoriously bad traffic, certainly not going to be as bad as like LA, for example, and maybe some larger major metro areas, but especially on a per capita basis for its size, Portland really punches above its weight as far as having terrible traffic. Now, that's typically going to be during your standard rush hour times, so 8 a.m. to maybe 10 a.m., and then really from about 3:30 p.m. till about 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. But Saturday, Sunday, whether it's noon, whether it's morning, evening, you can get some bad traffic. So we're going to look at the metro area on some maps, take a look at some common commutes, and use that as a way to talk about some of the major highways, freeways, major thoroughfares, some of the ways that you can maybe get around the freeway, avoid some of the traffic, although even that can lead to some bad news for you. So we're going to jump right into it here, but if this is your first time to the channel or you've been here and you haven't already and you want to get more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. All right, let's just jump right into it here. So we're going to be looking at some common commutes, from east to west, north to south, that a lot of people would be doing if they lived in the Portland metro area. Now, these exact starting points or destinations might not be exactly what your day-to-day commute would look like, but we're going to cover enough, again, common commutes to give you some context perspective on what living in Portland is going to be like in regards to traffic and day-to-day, especially if you're commuting. But, if you're just getting out periodically, if you're getting out for entertainment, or if you're taking your kids to school, whatever it may be, we want to be able to shed some light on what this is going to look like for you. So if we just look at a map, we're going to see Portland right in the middle of the metro area. So you have the west side of the river, the east side of the river, and then of course you can be further north, you could be further south. So south would be down here, down I-5, all the way to Wilsonville is about as far south as the metro area goes, but you have Sherwood down here, and then on the east side you have Oregon City, and then you could be on the further reaches east or west like Happy Valley, Gresham. You have Hillsborough all the way to the west, and then even some parts of Aloha and further west in Hillsborough going to be a little bit more buried. In Portland, this is Portland proper right here, so you could be in North Portland, St. John's, this area, or you could be up in Vancouver, which you could see does extend pretty far north and east as well, really all the way out to Camas. So overall, where you live in Portland is going to have a huge impact on what your commute is going to look like. I think most people moving to Portland, in particular moving to Portland for work, are going to have their commute at the forefront of what's driving their decision as far as determining exactly where to live. Now, there's going to be a lot that you can do at the margins to be just a little bit further, an extra 5-10 minutes, to be in an area that feels good, comfortable, and meets your needs as an area that you could really see yourselves living. It doesn't have to be just black and white. It's either a 10-minute commute or an hour commute. You can find a pretty big window, and depending on what you're comfortable with, I think for most people, you're going to be able to find a place to live that is relatively close in terms of a commute. But again, Portland's traffic is notoriously bad, especially during rush hour. And if we just do a quick overview really quick here. So again, you have Portland right in the middle. You have I-5, Interstate 5. This is a big interstate that runs from Vancouver, Canada, all the way down to Mexico. So north up through Washington, south down into California, and all the way into Mexico. So Portland goes, I-5 goes right through the heart of Portland, north-south. So obviously, being near I-5 will get you north and south pretty easily. You kind of have a beltway a little bit, or you have some of these freeways on the outskirts of the boundary of Portland. The Portland boundary does extend a little bit further east, actually quite a bit further east than it does west. But you have I-205 running north-south on the east side, And then you have 217, this little beltway running much shorter, obviously, than 205, but still creating kind of an expressway on this west side from Beaverton, North Beaverton, into like Cedar Mill, Bethany, unincorporated areas of Washington County, running through the heart of Beaverton and then down into Tigard. And then actually 217 turns into Cruz Way right here and takes you into Lake Oswego. So if you lived in Lake Oswego and if you worked in Beaverton or even Hillsborough, you would be going 217. So beyond that, and actually you can see 205 does kind of bend here on the south side and run west back to I-5. And it connects with I-5 on the north side too, but primarily runs north-south. You have Highway 26, which on the west side is really a freeway. So starting downtown Portland, Highway 26 runs out through the north side of Beaverton and out toward Hillsborough, this area called Tannisbourne. Bethany, this north side of Beaverton, or unincorporated Washington County, and you can take this all the way out to the Oregon coast. It ends right at Seaside and Cannon Beach here. On the east side, 26 does continue, but this is Powell Boulevard. So on the east side, Highway 26 being Powell, you're hitting traffic lights like every few blocks. And then it turns into a highway once you get out past Gresham, and you can take that out to Mount Hood. So you can take this out to like Government Camp, and actually you can take it all the way out through Bend and into eastern Oregon. So Highway 26 runs east-west right through Portland. You have some other major thoroughfares. We're not going to dig too much into that, but like Highway 10, Highway 8 on the east side, for example, 213 on the east side, running out to like Happy Valley, out to Gresham. You have Highway 99 east and Highway 99 west as well. So again, we don't have to bore you too much with digging into this, super deep. But you can see on the map, obviously, there's a lot of freeways, highways, and major thoroughfares. So something that we will talk about more as we look at some of these commutes. So without further ado, let's just look at some common commutes that you could be making daily, hopefully not, but at least from time to time, and give you some context as far as where you're living, relative to where you might be going and what the traffic looks like. So here we are, 2:30 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. This first one we're going to look at is Hillsborough, Oregon to the Moda Center. So the Moda Center, where the Portland Trailblazers play, there's a ton of concerts, events, definitely a place that at some point you would be going, to do something in Portland. And you can use Moda Center as a proxy for really kind of anywhere in Portland or in this close-in east side from Hillsborough. So again, middle of the afternoon on a Tuesday, we're looking at from downtown Hillsborough out to the Moda Center, or basically downtown Portland, 37 minutes, 22 miles. Now, a lot of Hillsborough is actually in here, so the commute's going to be a little bit shorter. If you are more in the heart of Hillsborough, downtown Hillsborough is as far west as you can get in Hillsborough. So, you can maybe deduct 5-6 minutes, whatever it is, if you are a little bit, closer east into Portland, but still living in Hillsborough. Now, you could look at this the other direction, right? So if you are living in the city, downtown Portland, but say you work at like Intel, for example, there's 2 or 3 Intel campuses here in Hillsborough. There's a Intel campus in Aloha. This is definitely a commute you can be making, and still, 35 minutes, not as much traffic, compared to 37 minutes, 38 minutes now. You can see, the better part of 40 minutes from a lot of Hillsborough out to the Moda Center in this example to see a Blazer game. So moving on, more of a north-south commute, looking at actually getting to the airport from Tualatin. So I think, again, Tualatin could be a proxy here for Tigard just to the north, or maybe Sherwood. Sherwood, you're going to tack on 5-10 minutes, being a little more buried over here. But if you're down here in this Tualatin, South Tigard, even in here, Lake Grove, this west side of Lake Oswego, if you're looking at getting to the Portland airport, you can see all this traffic getting north right now from Tualatin or from down south here up to the airport. So, you're not always going to necessarily be leaving for the airport middle of the afternoon. But at least right now, if you're getting on the south side of the metro area up to the north side of Portland, you're looking at almost 50 minutes, 22 miles. Now, if we do that reverse, if you're just flying in, let's say, you can see it actually gives you an alternative route. So you can go I-205 or hop on I-5. And I-5 is going to be still about 40 minutes, a little longer distance, but shorter time-wise to go on 205. So you're going to have options either way, point being going north-south from the south side of the metro area up somewhere north into like North Portland, obviously the airport in this example, or Northeast Portland. Okay, next we have Oregon City to Northwest 23rd. So a lot of these examples, we're using close in Portland, right? So we have downtown Portland as one example. Again, the Moda Center where the Blazers play and a lot of concerts take place. Northwest 23rd in this Northwest District is a place where a lot of people like to go out to dinner, like to go out and walk around, spend an afternoon, hang out. It's a really cool area to hang out. And so if you were living a little further south in Clackamas County on the east side of the river, be that Oregon City or really even over here in Happy Valley, I think it's going to be pretty interchangeable. But if you are on this east, kind of southeast side of the metro area, you want to get up to Northwest 23rd, Pearl District, or probably, anywhere downtown Portland, this is going to be about what you're looking at. Again, midday right now, 34 minutes, about 25 miles. This is taking you 205 to I-5 north, but you can actually take 99. You're going to be fighting some more traffic lights going this direction. You can see it's 16 miles versus 24 and a half miles. Going this direction, so faster on the freeway than on this highway, but a much more of a straight shot. And then obviously you can take 205, but that's gonna be a lot longer than either of the first two routes. Now, if we flip this, let's say maybe you work downtown Portland, you work in the Pearl District, something like that, but you live in Oregon City and you're coming back this direction, middle of the afternoon. About the same, 35, 40 minutes, really kind of regardless of what route you take. So this is another north-south. We were just looking at this Tualatin option, being on the west side of the river over in Washington County as opposed to being like in Oregon City, Clackamas, Happy Valley, this area over here. So pretty similar, though, in particular distance-wise. Okay, next let's look at Wilsonville to Nike World Headquarters. So you could probably plug in any area going to Nike because a lot of people work at Nike. Also, Intel is over here. This is Silicon Forest. There's a lot of major employers throughout this corridor right here, but let's use Nike as an example. Let's say you move to the Portland metro area. And by the way, if you are thinking about moving to the Portland metro area and you want to dig further into what these commutes might look like relative to areas that maybe have stood out to you so far, or just talk about what areas might be a good fit for you, you got to give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or click the link down below in the description of the video and schedule a Zoom call with us. Either way, we'd love to help with your move to the Portland metro area. All right, so getting back into this. So looking at, again, Nike to Wilsonville. So Wilsonville is as far south in the metro area as you can get, as far as like an area or a suburb that's actually considered part of the metro area. You also have Canby down here. You have Newburgh. These are just a little bit further out. Wilsonville, of course, especially being right on I-5, a little bit more convenient, but definitely a popular area for people to move to if they're relocating here. You're looking at about 27 minutes, 30 minutes. Could be 20, 25 minutes depending on time of day. If we look at this in reverse, if you're getting off work at Nike at 2:33 in the afternoon, and you're leaving Nike to go to Wilsonville, 34 minutes. If you happen to take this route, you're looking at 42 minutes. So really could be 40, 45, 50 minutes, going north, or rather going south from Beaverton, this Beaverton area down into Wilsonville. All right, taking a look at another example, and this is definitely the worst commute in the Portland metro area. So really anywhere in Portland going north into Vancouver during rush hour is awful. And that's rush hour in the evening. Rush hour in the morning, it's going to be reversed. So coming from Vancouver into Portland, it's going to be really backed up. Now, look, I just put downtown Portland to downtown Vancouver basically. So that's 27 minutes, but it's 8 miles. So a lot of these commutes that we've looked at, or these distances, are 12, 15, 17, maybe 22 miles, something like that, but only 8 miles. We're really 9 miles from downtown Portland to downtown Vancouver, and that's going to take you 30 minutes. So if you look at this in reverse, 21 minutes. So still a little bit of traffic, but even just this reverse commute is going to be a lot quicker. Now, just for actually, yeah, so I just switched this over. From when I plugged this in like 20 minutes ago, it went from 27 minutes to 33 minutes. So let's just see what it might look like if we left Portland at 4:30, give or take. 35 to an hour and 15 minutes leaving. And this is, again, just downtown Portland to downtown Vancouver. So you might be in Beaverton, you could be Milwaukee, Southeast Portland. If you're further this way, tack on another 20, 30 minutes at least. And then, of course, this is just to downtown Vancouver. You can see how big Vancouver is. And if you're getting up further north, which are some really popular areas for people to relocate to, Philida, all the way out in Camas, even all the way up here in Ridgefield, they're doing a lot of building. So that's going to be, again, a pretty brutal commute. It would not be my first recommendation for somebody to live in Vancouver, especially further out in Vancouver, and work somewhere really even downtown Portland, but especially further out in the Portland metro area because of the commute alone. Now, the trade-off might be there, so everybody's circumstance is different, but definitely pay extra attention to this commute, this rush hour from, again, morning Vancouver to Portland and evening Portland to Vancouver. Okay, so a couple more examples here. Hopefully this has given you a good idea. How about Intel? So basically Hillsborough, but a little bit closer in. We looked at a commute from downtown Hillsborough earlier, but you can see this particular Intel campus is more central north Hillsborough, closer to Highway 26, so a lot closer to the freeway, out to St. John's. So this is a neighborhood in North Portland, popular area to go hang out. You got Pier Park, cool little disc golf course there. This is the little main street in St. John's. So, if you were getting to St. John's, or say even out to the Portland airport, which is just a little bit further east from St. John's here. Now, this time of day, it's recommending actually going up over Germantown Road. So this is the West Hills. This is Forest Park. You climb elevation right here and then drop back down to Highway 30 and cross the St. John's Bridge, which let's just take a look at the St. John's Bridge. If that's your commute and you're doing that every day, could be worse. Definitely could be worse. Definitely an iconic Portland landmark. Either way, you do have an option, which this is really kind of a back way. You're kind of winding up the hill and down the hill, and you can see these are really windy streets. So if you get car sick, that's definitely not going to be the best way to go. But you can see it's a lot quicker than taking Highway 26 right now, which should move quicker if there's not traffic, longer distance-wise. But usually if you can take the freeway, it's going to be a better option. Okay, let me get back to what we were looking at. There we go. So you can see, you're fighting traffic getting into Portland and then kind of back up north into St. John's in this example. If we do this reverse, so if you were going from North Portland to the Hillsborough area, this in particular is Orenco Station, another really popular area for people to relocate to. Still giving you that backdoor option, about 29 minutes, just 13 miles. So the reason it's taken so long is because it's so windy here, and then going through Portland, much longer distance going all the way down and then back up and around, but 22 miles, going this way versus 13 miles going this way. So again, there's going to be options. Okay, one more example. Let's look at Lake Oswego to Beaverton. Plug in any landmark, whether it be in Lake Oswego or Beaverton. but this commute from Lake Oswego, West Lynn, this area down here, which is a little bit buried. You have Highway 43 that will take you north right up into Portland, and then you have 205 down here that will get you back over to I-5. Otherwise, you're kind of going on these more or less back roads here. I mean, Cruise Way isn't really a back road, but these are just roads with like stop signs going through the heart of these suburbs. So Lake Oswego to Beaverton or vice versa is going to be a pretty common commute. Lake Oswego, in particular on Cruise Way there, has a lot of offices, office buildings, parks, things like that. Beaverton similarly, a lot of jobs, a lot of people work in Beaverton and live in Lake Oswego or vice versa. So right now we're looking at 25 minutes, 10 miles, Lake Oswego, downtown Lake Oswego to downtown Beaverton. If we switch that, so if you were working in Beaverton going home to Lake Oswego here at almost 3 p.m. on a Wednesday, you're looking at 26 minutes, 26, 28 minutes, up to 33 minutes, depending on the route that you decide to take. So, and actually if we flip this, it's still about 25 minutes. So 217 is also notoriously bad, especially right now. They're doing a lot of work on it. So there's going to be some areas that there's no way around it. You're going to have a commute that's not going to be all that great. You might have to be a little bit flexible on your timing, or you're going to be spending quite a bit of time in the car. All right, there you have it. Just a quick snapshot of what traffic in Portland looks like on a given day. It's going to be pretty typical. Again, we're looking specifically in this video at mid-afternoon on a weekday. It's going to vary a little bit, but rush hour is starting to pick up a little bit right now. You can see that most commutes are going to be max about 30 minutes. Again, you could choose to live in an area that might be just an extra 5 minutes, and it really might be worth it. So everybody's circumstance is going to be a little bit different. Obviously, you can go on Google Maps and plug in anything you want and do your departure time and arrival time, whatever it may be, and really play around with this quite a bit. But there's a lot of little secret back roads and different ways, different options that Google might not even show you necessarily if you are using Google Maps, that is. But either way, if you're thinking about moving to the Portland metro area, especially for work, and really thinking about what those commute times are going to look like, but also considering what type of area is going to really fit you best. That's something that we really dig into with a lot of people on just trying to find that balance and what the best trade-off is if you need to make a trade-off. I mean, if you're moving here and working in Beaverton, for example, there might be plenty of areas in Beaverton that really fit exactly what you're looking for. But I know for a lot of people, especially people who are moving to Portland that want to live in a Portland neighborhood, really get the true Portland experience, but they're working in Beaverton, Hillsborough, Wilsonville, whatever it may be. Again, there's going to be some different ways to approach this to just find the best opportunity for you. So if that's something you want to talk about further, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or click the link down below in the description of the video. Schedule a Zoom call with us, and we can really dig into that stuff a little bit further. Now, if this video is helpful, make sure to hit the like button. That helps us out a lot. If you want to get more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Tap the little bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. As always, we really appreciate you watching, and until next time, we'll talk to you later.